Good morning, afternoon, evening. Today, I want to talk about something that resonates deeply with all of us, the importance of trusting the process. In a world where we often seek quick fixes and instant gratification, the idea of trusting a process can seem frustrating or even counterproductive. But I want to share with you why trusting the process is not only necessary but transformative. Trusting the process requires embracing vulnerability, a concept that many of us instinctively shy away from. Vulnerability, in its essence, is about opening ourselves to the possibility of change, growth, and uncertainty. It means letting go of the need to control every outcome, and instead allowing ourselves to be present with what is happening in the moment, even when we can't predict or understand it fully. For many, vulnerability feels like a weakness, but in truth, it's where our greatest strength lies. It is only by surrendering to the unknown that we can experience true transformation. The illusion of control is something we all cling to. We convince ourselves that if we can just manage every detail, if we can hold tightly to our plans, we will be safe, secure, and able to avoid failure. But in reality, life is messy, unpredictable, and rarely goes according to plan. The more we try to control everything, the more we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn and grow from experiences that are outside our control. To trust the process is to acknowledge that there are forces beyond our comprehension, and that's okay. In fact, it's liberating. Vulnerability means showing up even when we don't have all the answers. It's about saying, I don't know what the outcome will be, but I'm willing to take the next step anyway. This doesn't mean being reckless or acting without consideration. It means accepting that we can't always predict the future or dictate how things will unfold. There's power in this acceptance. By letting go of our need to control, we free ourselves from the weight of expectation and open ourselves to new possibilities. When we trust the process, we become more attuned to the lessons that arise in moments of uncertainty. Vulnerability teaches us to stay present, to observe the signs, and to listen to our inner wisdom. It's in these moments when we feel unsure or out of our depth that we have the chance to grow the most. When we expose ourselves to the discomfort of not knowing, we create space for new experiences, new perspectives, and new ways of thinking. These experiences, though challenging, shape us into more resilient individuals. By trusting the process, we learn to trust ourselves. Vulnerability is not about weakness, it's about strength, the strength to embrace the unknown, the strength to allow ourselves to be imperfect, and the strength to continue moving forward even when the path ahead seems unclear. It is through this act of trust, of surrendering to the process, that we discover who we truly are and what we are capable of becoming. And it's this very vulnerability that forms the foundation for true, lasting change. Real growth often emerges in the most uncomfortable moments of our lives. We tend to think that growth should feel easy, that progress should be a smooth and gradual ascent. However, the truth is that real transformation happens when we push beyond our comfort zones, when we allow ourselves to experience the discomfort that comes with facing the unknown. It's in these times of struggle and uncertainty that we discover the depths of our strength and resilience. Discomfort is inherently uncomfortable by its nature. It challenges us. It makes us question our assumptions, our beliefs, and even our abilities. The very notion of discomfort is something many people try to avoid, preferring to stay in the safe, familiar places where things feel manageable. But what if it's exactly this discomfort that holds the key to unlocking our full potential? When we're too comfortable, we stagnate, we don't grow. The muscles of our resilience lie dormant, waiting for the opportunity to be strengthened. When we face challenges, when things don't go according to plan, we are forced to adapt. We are forced to be resourceful, to dig deep and find solutions we didn't know we had inside of us. It's easy to rely on the familiar, to seek the path of least resistance, but true personal growth happens when we're thrust into situations that demand more from us. In these moments, we tap into an inner well of courage, creativity, and problem-solving skills that we may have never accessed before. Embracing discomfort also helps us reframe how we view failure. Too often, we see failure as a negative experience, something to be avoided at all costs. But discomfort is often the precursor to failure, and failure is not the end of the road, it is simply feedback. When we embrace discomfort, we can view failure not as a defeat, but as an opportunity to learn. It teaches us lessons about what works, what doesn't, and how we can approach challenges differently moving forward. Each time we fail and get back up, we become more resilient, more confident, and more capable of handling future challenges. Discomfort also builds empathy. When we have faced our own struggles, we are better able to understand and support others through theirs. We connect on a deeper level because we know firsthand what it feels like to be uncertain, to face adversity, and to wonder if we're strong enough to keep going. It's in these shared moments of discomfort that we find common ground and strengthen the bonds that unite us. Ultimately, growth is not something that happens when everything is easy. It's the result of pushing through the discomfort, embracing the struggle, and learning from it. Discomfort is the crucible in which our resilience is forged, and without it, we would never uncover the depth of our potential. Trusting the process is fundamentally about embracing the journey, not fixating on the destination. In a world where success is often measured by the end result, it's easy to become so focused on where we're going that we forget to pay attention to how we're getting there. We can get caught up in the desire for quick results, the yearning for an end point that will validate all of our hard work. However, the true value lies in the journey itself, in the moments, lessons, and experiences that shape us along the way. Each step in the process has something to offer, even if we don't fully understand its significance in the moment. We might encounter challenges, setbacks, or moments of doubt, but these are often the points where the greatest growth occurs. It's easy to look at the destination and think that once we arrive, everything will fall into place. But the truth is, it's the journey, the ups and downs, the struggles and triumphs that truly transform us. When we focus only on the end result, we miss the richness that each step provides. The small victories, the tiny adjustments, the moments of clarity, these are the things that shape who we become. Every lesson, every detour, and every difficult choice contributes to our growth in ways that may not be immediately apparent. At the time, we may feel frustrated or discouraged, but looking back, we often realize that these moments were the building blocks of our success. They prepared us, taught us resilience, and showed us strengths we didn't know we had. Trusting the process means allowing ourselves to be present in each moment, even when we don't see immediate progress. It's about recognizing that the journey itself is just as important, if not more so, than the destination. The beauty of life is that it's not a straight path to a fixed goal. It's a series of experiences that teach us more about ourselves and the world around us. Every step along the way is an opportunity for self-discovery, learning, and growth. Furthermore, focusing on the journey helps us cultivate patience and resilience. In a culture that often prioritizes instant gratification, it can be challenging to slow down and appreciate the process. But when we shift our focus from the destination to the journey, we give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to take our time and to savor the experiences that shape our lives. Each day becomes a chance to move forward, even if the progress is small. Ultimately, when we trust the process and embrace the journey, we realize that the destination was never the true prize. It's the person we become in the process that is the most valuable outcome. The experiences, the growth, and the lessons along the way shape us into someone who is capable of handling the challenges ahead. The journey is where life unfolds, and it's where we find the richness of who we are and what we can achieve. Trusting the process demands a significant amount of courage. It's not always easy to continue moving forward when things feel uncertain, when the path ahead is unclear, and when doubt begins to creep in. Yet, it is in these very moments when the future feels ambiguous and the outcome uncertain that courage becomes the most powerful force we can rely on. Courage isn't the absence of fear or discomfort. It is the strength to push forward in spite of them. It's about stepping into the unknown with the belief that, even without a clear roadmap, we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. When we trust the process, we are often asked to venture into unfamiliar territory. We may not know what the future holds, and we certainly won't have all the answers. But courage compels us to take that first step, even when the destination is shrouded in mystery. We trust that by showing up, by staying present and engaged, we will find our way. It's about letting go of the need for certainty and embracing the possibility that things might not unfold as we expect. But even in this uncertainty, we trust that we will learn and grow through the experience. Taking risks and facing challenges head-on also requires courage. It's easy to stay where things feel comfortable, to avoid situations that might cause us to stumble or fail. But real growth never happens within our comfort zones. To trust the process means to be willing to take risks, to stretch ourselves beyond what feels safe, and to take on challenges that seem daunting at first. With each challenge we face, we build resilience, and with each step into the unknown, we become more confident in our ability to handle what comes next. Courage is also essential when we encounter setbacks or failures along the way. It's easy to let disappointment stop us in our tracks, to feel like we've failed and therefore should abandon the process. But the real test of courage comes when we decide to keep going, even when things don't go as planned. It's about acknowledging the failure, learning from it, and choosing to move forward rather than giving up. Each time we face a setback and choose to continue, we reinforce our courage and develop a deeper trust in ourselves in the process. Ultimately, courage is what helps us persist when the journey feels overwhelming. It allows us to step forward into the unknown with the confidence that, no matter what, we are equipped to handle the challenges that come our way. Trusting the process, in its essence, is an act of courage and ongoing commitment to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead is unclear, uncertain, or difficult. It is in these moments that we discover our true strength and resilience. Self-doubt is one of the most persistent and paralyzing obstacles we face when pursuing growth and change. It often arises when we are not seeing immediate results or when the progress we expect feels slow or non-existent. In these moments, it's easy to start questioning ourselves, our abilities, and even the path we're on. We might wonder if we're doing something wrong, if we're capable of achieving our goals, or if the process is worth it at all. However, learning to trust the process is one of the most powerful ways to overcome self-doubt and push through these moments of uncertainty. When we begin something new or set out to achieve a goal, we often expect to see quick results. Society reinforces this expectation with its emphasis on instant gratification and success stories that highlight fast accomplishments. But the reality is that growth takes time. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to stay committed even when the fruits of our labor are not immediately visible. This is where self-doubt thrives, in the space between where we are now and where we want to be. When progress seems invisible, our minds can become clouded with doubts, and we start to question whether the effort is worth it. Trusting the process involves silencing the noise of doubt and criticism. It's easy to get lost in the self-talk that tells us we're not good enough, that we're not making enough progress, or that we're failing. These thoughts are often louder in moments of uncertainty, but trusting the process allows us to move past them. It's about recognizing that growth is not always linear. Some days will feel like setbacks, and others will feel like progress. But in the grand scheme, every step, whether big or small, contributes to the journey. The key to overcoming self-doubt is shifting our focus from immediate results to long-term growth. We must remind ourselves that the process itself is where the real value lies. Each challenge, each moment of discomfort, and each small step forward is an opportunity to grow stronger and more resilient. The path may not always be clear, but trusting that each experience is contributing to our overall growth allows us to stay focused and persistent. It's also important to recognize that self-doubt doesn't mean we're on the wrong path. It's simply a natural part of the process. Everyone at some point experiences doubt. What matters is how we respond to it. Trusting the process means continuing to move forward despite the doubts. It means believing in ourselves and in the process itself, even when we can't see the end result. Each time we move past self-doubt, we grow not only in skill, but also in confidence. Over time, this builds a deep trust in ourselves and the journey we're on. Trusting the process helps us stay grounded, focused, and committed to our own growth, no matter what challenges or doubts arise along the way. Patience is one of the most important virtues we can cultivate when trusting the process. In a world that thrives on speed and instant results, waiting for progress to unfold can be incredibly challenging. It often feels as though nothing is happening, even after we put in countless hours of effort. But in reality, every small action, every decision we make, and every step we take is adding up, even if we don't see the immediate effects. Patience allows us to recognize that growth takes time, and that sometimes the most significant changes happen in subtle, gradual ways. The process of growth or achievement is rarely instantaneous. Whether we're building a new skill, working toward a goal, or simply trying to improve ourselves, it takes time to see real, lasting change. We might not notice it day to day, but if we look back over weeks or months, we can see how far we've come. The challenge is that patience requires trust that our efforts will pay off, even if the results are not immediately visible. This is where many people struggle when they don't see quick results. They begin to question whether they're on the right path or if they should give up. The truth is that the most meaningful outcomes often come after periods of uncertainty, frustration, and hard work that feel like they're leading nowhere. Each small action we take, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, contributes to the bigger picture. Every choice we make, whether it's sticking to a plan, making progress even when it feels slow, or simply staying committed, plays a role in creating something meaningful. It's easy to overlook these small steps when we're focused only on the end result. We may feel discouraged when the progress doesn't seem fast enough, but if we can step back and acknowledge the cumulative power of these small actions, we start to understand that they are building the foundation for future success. Patience also teaches us to accept the ebb and flow of progress. There will be days when everything seems to fall into place, and there will be days when it feels like nothing is working. Both are part of the process. On the days when it feels like we're not moving forward, we need to remind ourselves that progress is often invisible in the moment. Like a seed slowly growing underground before it eventually bursts through the soil, the work we do today may not be immediately apparent, but it's laying the groundwork for future growth. Trusting the process requires a commitment to consistency, even when the results are not immediately visible. It's easy to get discouraged when progress seems slow or when we don't see instant rewards for the effort we put in. But the truth is that real, lasting transformation is often the result of the small, consistent actions we take over time. Consistency is the steady force that propels us forward, even when the path is unclear or when we feel like we're not moving fast enough. The key to trusting the process is recognizing that each small step we take today is contributing to the larger transformation that will come tomorrow. One of the most challenging aspects of growth is the slow pace at which it often occurs. We live in a world that glorifies quick results, whether in our careers, personal goals, or even in the way we consume information. In this environment, it can be difficult to stay committed to a process that feels gradual. But consistency, rather than intensity or speed, is what leads to long-term success. Small, everyday actions build momentum and have a compounding effect. Each time we show up, even when we don't feel like it, we are reinforcing the habit of persistence. And this is what ultimately leads to significant change. Consistency is also about building trust in ourselves. By committing to the process day after day, we send a message to ourselves that we are reliable, capable, and worthy of the effort we put in. Even when we don't see immediate results, we can take comfort in knowing that we are doing the work and that the process is unfolding as it should. Trusting the process means believing that every small action, no matter how insignificant it might feel at the time, is a piece of the puzzle that will eventually fit together. What makes consistency so powerful is its ability to create momentum. Even when progress feels slow, the more we show up and stay committed, the more we build the foundation for future growth. Over time, those small actions begin to accumulate, and before we know it, we've made significant progress. The transformation may not happen overnight, but each day that we continue on our path, we move one step closer to the person we want to become. Ultimately, the power of consistency is that it removes the pressure of needing immediate results. It allows us to focus on the process itself rather than obsessing over outcomes. The transformation that happens through consistency is not only external but internal as we build resilience, discipline, and confidence in our ability to follow through. Trusting the process means showing up even when we don't see progress right away and knowing that each small, consistent step we take is bringing us closer to our goals. Perfectionism can be a powerful force, but it often holds us back from trusting the process and embracing the natural ebb and flow of growth. The desire to do everything perfectly, to avoid mistakes, and to always perform at the highest level can create immense pressure. This pressure can paralyze us, making it difficult to move forward and take risks. It convinces us that anything less than perfect is failure, and as a result, we often delay action or avoid trying altogether. However, the truth is that perfectionism is not only an unrealistic standard, it is also a barrier to true progress. Letting go of perfection allows us to trust the process more fully and accept that the journey will not be flawless. In the pursuit of perfection, we often find ourselves focused on the end result rather than the experience of the journey itself. We can become so fixated on achieving a perfect outcome that we overlook the valuable lessons we learn along the way. Perfectionism keeps us tied to an unattainable standard, And in doing so, it prevents us from fully embracing the process of growth. The journey is rarely smooth or linear, and when we expect it to be, we set ourselves up for disappointment and frustration. By letting go of the need for perfection, we allow ourselves to be present in the moments of imperfection, the mistakes, the missteps, the learning curves, and trust that these moments are an essential part of the process. When we free ourselves from perfectionism, we also free ourselves from the fear of failure. The fear of making mistakes is often rooted in the desire to be perfect, and this fear can stop us from taking action or trying new things. But when we accept that mistakes are a natural part of learning, we no longer see them as failures. Instead, we view them as opportunities to grow, adapt, and improve. Trusting the process means accepting that we will make mistakes along the way, and that each one is simply a step toward greater understanding and mastery. Letting go of perfectionism also allows us to be kinder to ourselves. We often hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, believing that we must always perform flawlessly. But when we release this need for perfection, we create space for self-compassion and understanding. We give ourselves permission to be human, to be imperfect, and to learn from the challenges we face. This self-compassion is essential for building resilience and for maintaining motivation, especially when things don't go as planned. Ultimately, the journey is not about achieving perfection, it's about learning, growing, and evolving. When we let go of perfectionism, we open ourselves up to the richness of the process itself. We allow ourselves to make mistakes, to face challenges, and to continue moving forward with the knowledge that imperfection is not a hindrance, but a natural part of the path to success. By trusting the process and embracing imperfection, we unlock the potential for true growth and transformation. Trusting the process is an essential element in building resilience. Resilience is not something that comes easily or automatically. It is forged through our experiences, especially when we face challenges and setbacks. Each time we commit to the process and continue moving forward, even when things aren't going as planned, we strengthen our capacity to endure future obstacles with greater confidence and grace. The act of trusting the process, despite uncertainty or difficulty, helps us develop the mental and emotional fortitude necessary to navigate life's challenges. When we trust the process, we are essentially putting our faith in the journey, knowing that the struggles and setbacks we encounter are temporary and that, in the end, they will contribute to our growth. It's easy to become disheartened when things aren't working out or when progress is slower than we expected, but trusting that these experiences are part of the process helps us persevere. With each challenge, we learn something new about ourselves and how we approach adversity. Over time, these lessons accumulate, and we develop a deeper sense of inner strength. Each time we face an obstacle and choose to push through it, we build resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty or never experiencing setbacks. It's about how we respond when things go wrong. By trusting the process and continuing to move forward, we teach ourselves that we are capable of handling whatever comes our way. Even in the face of adversity, we begin to trust that we can adapt, find solutions, and keep going. This belief in our ability to persevere becomes a powerful tool that helps us face future challenges with greater ease. The process of building resilience requires patience and persistence. It's about recognizing that setbacks are not signs of failure, but opportunities to grow stronger. Each time we trust the process and face difficulties head-on, we reinforce our ability to bounce back from setbacks. We become more adaptable, learning to adjust our approach when things don't go as expected, and more capable of handling stress and uncertainty. With each challenge we overcome, we build a solid foundation of resilience that we can draw upon when faced with future obstacles. Over time, this resilience becomes part of our identity. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances and start viewing ourselves as individuals who are capable of navigating challenges with grace and determination. By trusting the process, we learn that difficulties are not something to fear, but an inevitable and valuable part of our growth. Each obstacle we face and each time we persevere through it strengthens our ability to rise, adapt, and continue moving forward. In this way, trusting the process becomes the foundation for a resilient mindset that empowers us to face whatever comes our way with confidence and strength. In conclusion, trusting the process is an empowering journey that requires patience, resilience, courage, and self-compassion. It teaches us that growth isn't always linear and that the challenges we face are not setbacks, but opportunities to learn and evolve. By embracing vulnerability, letting go of perfectionism, and accepting failure as a teacher, we unlock our true potential. Each small step, each moment of discomfort, and each failure is an integral part of the larger transformation we're undergoing. As we continue to trust the process, we build the resilience and confidence to face future obstacles with grace. Ultimately, the process itself, with all its ups and downs, is what shapes us into the people we are meant to become. Trusting it isn't just about achieving a goal, it's about embracing the journey and becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable with each step. So today, I encourage you to trust the process, embrace the discomfort, have courage in the face of uncertainty, and be patient with yourself. You know that each small step is part of a much larger journey. When you trust the process, you open the door to the growth, resilience, and transformation that you are capable of. Thank you.